Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see things change, we need to see and think differently about ourselves and shift our energy about ourselves. And we can come here and learn things about people in our lives, but really the most powerful healing that will take place is when you can make this about you and not about your person and come into a balance within you. And then the things that have been blocking you will fall away. And today is all about blocks. This is obstacles removed reading today. We're going to look at the obstacles that block us from the feminine side, which is not a gender. It is an energy of emotion, receptivity, gestating, giving birth, creativity. And then on the masculine side, again, not gender, but energy. So we're talking action, material manifestation, leadership, being able to detach actually from the emotional in order to do things in an analytical or intellectual way. So those are the two parts of self that are constantly going back and forth. Your person is going to reflect back the same kind of back and forth energy that you have. You might see that you'll have a negation where they have like a positivity and vice versa, and you'll kind of weave back and forth like the Caduceus that we see, or Caduceus, is it Caduceus? That we see on the Two of Cups in the Smith-Waite Tarot. That interplay of energies is how we come together into alignment. And the places of intersection are the points where we can find the healing energy that we would need to help one another shift. And that's what we're doing. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm late. It's fine. I make my own schedule, but I feel late, so let's get going. We had a 2.5 hour reading on Monday. I really am hoping to come in under 2 hours today, but let's see what happens. So you come here thinking you need something, and I actually did this morning in one of my personal readings that I sent to one of my followers here. If you are interested in a personal reading rather than this collective reading, please go to pearlsprayers.com. And there's a link below. You can click on member or members. That's going to give you all of the like top things that you might want to do. Support me, join and become a member. So you can access the Tell Me Everything spreads, book a personal reading, yada, yada, yada. All that is pearlsprayers.com. Click around, see what you see. It's fun. You can see my music there as well. Okay. So I did this morning and I'm going to do this now. I want you to close your eyes for just a moment with me. And there is something that you want. There's a reason why you clicked on the video. There's a reason why you subscribe and can't wait till I go live. There's some reason why you are here. Something you want. And that thing that you want, you've been inspired to want that from your ego, from your unique experience of reality. And that ego is not completely in tune with the divine. It's inspired by the divine, but then it goes, it's into baser motives. It makes things about fear and about a false sense that if I get this, then I'll be happy type of a thing. Okay. So that's where that feeling you're having is originating from. However, we can check and see, is the thing that we think we want what we actually want? So when we get messages today, we want to hear certain messages. And the universe is saying, that is what you think you need, but this is what you really need. As you step away from this reading today, what would help you is, wow, this is the Magus or the Magician. It is the first card. Well, technically it is not the first because the Fool is the first, but it is the place where the Fool leaps to when the Fool takes the leap to begin the journey. It is manifestation, power, magic, co-creation. So doing asking for something from the divine and then honoring that it's the divine that really is doing what you're asking for, and you are just responsible for receiving the inspiration and then implementing that path upon the earth, so to speak. So whatever you think you need, good morning, Elizabeth, whatever you think you need, set that aside. And as you hear these messages today, let yourself reflect upon how they can help you with manifesting your desires, co-creating, doing something not just on your own, but believing that you are supported in doing that thing, having all the tools that you need, making sure you have all the tools that you need, the readiness to be prepared to receive what you've asked for. I am well today, thank you, and I hope you are well today. All right, let us begin. I guess we'll start with Divine Masculine Obstacle today. And we are using the Hermetic Tarot in the headspace and the Wild Unknown in the heart space. I love to put these two together. The Hermetic Tarot has no color in it. It is black and white. And the Wild Unknown seeps color throughout while having this strong, like, contrasting black and white imagery as well. So I really like that this is our heart space today. Hello, Lena. And this is our head space. I work with the Hermetic Tarot, try to work with the Hermetic Tarot on a daily basis because it is a deck that has quite a lot of symbology, which is a word that I'm stealing from art history in it. And I am using it to refine my knowledge of the zodiac, the astrology that's associated with each card, the elements, the real technical kind of expert sort of stuff I'm starting to absorb through the study of this deck. I'll have this general association, but there's like little things that I don't have memorized, and I'm using this deck to do that. And the reason I bring that up is because today I shuffled my deck in the morning. The first thing that I usually do in the morning is I pull the card for that day from that deck and analyze it. And then I will do my morning pages, although I didn't today because I was running really late. So we didn't get morning pages in. It's going to be afternoon pages or night pages at this point. But I pulled this card already today. So I have actually a deep knowledge and awareness of this card, deeper than I would have otherwise. And I want to share with you what I wrote down about it. So what we're looking at right now is the general energy surrounding where the masculine feels like he has a block. So this isn't the block, but it's the energy surrounding where he feels blocked. Wrong notebook. There we go. When you are obsessed with these, but all of your notebooks that you have are that color. So you just keep grabbing the wrong one all the time. Okay, so I wrote down about this card today. Well, first of all, I knew this already, but to clarify, the Ace of Pentacles is an earth card. The aces in the deck are the roots of the four elements. So this is the earth card. It's associated with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn because all three signs are part of this card. It is called in the Hermetic Tarot, the Lord of the root of the powers of the earth. There are 5 concentric circles here in this pentacle and 12 rays coming out from the center, which you can't see because of this terrible camera, but there is a Greek cross here. Hello there, Taurus. So it is basically a representation of the cosmos, the zodiac within this material pentacle. And we're looking at the card that represents Earth. It is the initial energy that will progress materially through the 10 of Pentacles. And we're looking here at a 9 of Wands, which is a completion, almost, it's like almost complete. So we're getting the sense that this masculine is the general energy where he's feeling blocked is precisely how to take this initial energy, this initial materiality, and bring it into the 10 of Pentacles to get it to progress through to the 10 of Pentacles. How do I get this offer, right? This can be a physical material offer, can be a gift, a ring, whatever. I'm drawn to ring because of the concentric circles here. So I keep thinking that. And this is spiritually, this is what do you call it? Maltese cross. So there's a Greek cross in here and a Maltese cross in here, and there's wings here also. There are also 4 roses and 2 buds coming up from this hand here. And the 4 roses for me is that 4 of Wands feeling. So there's that offer of marriage that is seeming to come from this hand here. The thing about this card is that it represents materiality in all its senses. And when we see the Lord of the root of the powers of the earth, we're thinking the Lord of the root of good and evil, because it embodies both good and evil. And in a sense, it's illusionary because the material is, of course, impermanent. So it's not really real. There's an interesting thing about morality in terms of context. For instance, in my spiritual nourishment course, I was recording the video for the 3rd week, which deals with making peace with food. And it talks about how we associate good and bad with certain foods. But if you think about it, think about a person who has a severe peanut allergy, like really severe. They can't even be in a room where somebody's eating a peanut butter sandwich, for instance, okay? That person's body rejects peanuts. It's like, no fucking way are you going to get peanuts in me. It will kill me. I hate them, okay? I just do not want these peanuts. I don't know what it is. I don't know what genetic thing set me up for this, but like, get it away. Your body not agreeing with a food does not mean the food is then morally bad. Does that mean anybody who eats peanuts is a bad person who is eating a bad substance? So we tend to put good and evil. We moralize material things that the state of their moral state shifts and changes in context. To a person with a severe peanut allergy, the moral state of the peanut is very bad. It's murderously bad. To a person without one, it's good. It provides protein, you know, it's just like a little innocent legume. Probably it's been genetically modified and fucked up now, but regardless, it started out so innocently. Anyway, the idea being that this offer, even in the masculine's head, is bringing with it both good and evil. It's a whole material realization, which is good because it means it's not the fantasy version of it. The other thing that I wrote down is perfection. And I'm really drawn to that with this card coming up as its clarifier. Power, material gain, labor, wealth, attainment. Those are all the words that I wrote down. I said, the concentric circles make me think of Wheel of Fortune, divine timing, and the Ring of Fire. And then I have some personal things that this meant for me. So divine masculine's general energy then is that he has this offer. It is both good and evil because he brings with him some of the baggage that he has carried with him with this victim mentality that comes from the 9 of Wands. So right now, this isn't what is blocking him, but what the energy surrounding it is that he feels this feeling of like, I don't know, what can I do? There's nothing I can do. Look at these difficult steps I would have to take to be able to offer this to the feminine. Like, I don't know how to overcome these things. I don't know how to get here without hurting myself on all these steps. You know, I'm really thinking of somebody with like a 12-step program, even though it's 9 steps. I'm just think that's coming into my head right now. So this masculine feeling like in the heart space, he's been isolating himself, trying to overcome these very deep wounds and feeling victimized by that, being like, well, I know that I have to give this offer and there's this time and there's this pressure, but if I give this offer, I'm giving this feminine not just something good, not just something perfect, which is what I've been trying to do, which is how I've been keeping myself from having my happiness and healing, but not just something perfect. I have to give her something that isn't perfect, that has good and evil in it, and that makes me feel very conflicted. So what is the actual block? Can you please explain to me how Instagram Reels work? Because I posted a reel like a few days ago and now it's like going off. I just don't understand Instagram. Like, it's so weird. Just don't ever delete any of your reels, because I'll have like one from 2 weeks ago suddenly like hit like 4,000 views on a Friday in the afternoon. I'll be like, what? How? Anyway, my phone was just going off like crazy about one. It's so funny. Alrighty, so what is the actual block Divine Masculine has? Here is the Lovers. What if I could make this up? Wouldn't that be so funny and amazing? 10:33 on the clock, 15:33 on the timer. God damn it. Okay, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Yes, this masculine is definitely blocked in this way. He wants love in his head. This is an avoidant person. They do want to be loved. I just posted this thing. It was yesterday or 2 days ago. It's probably gone now, but it was from Lane Moore's account. And it was her posing, somebody was posing this question to her in the comments. Why do avoidants get into relationships anyway? And she's like, yeah, good question. It's because avoidants want love. They want love. They want to feel love. That's the thing. Everybody wants love. Everybody wants connection. Everybody wants a relationship. But this person's trauma and their wounding, which we know is here, is so much that no matter how much he wants this in his head, no matter how much he wishes for this to be true, and here I am getting my ego being like, God damn it! He is still unwilling to budge because he can't do it perfectly, and he's afraid of getting hurt. Dies in front of everybody of frustration. Okay. Don't I do anything here every day? Haven't I healed this for you, Divine Masculine? Come on. Okay. Where did this block originate? I can hardly wait to see. The 10 of Wands upright. The Lord of Oppression, this card says. And in the heart space, Temperance and the King of Cups in reverse. I see you saying, oh my God, needed this today. Hey, Saffron, how are you, babes? So the block originated from this Divine Masculine honestly facing a lot of oppression in his life. And this isn't imagined. It's not an illusion. This masculine has had a difficult time with a heavy burden of responsibility. And part of what has helped him to handle this feeling of burden has been drinking. Here's the Father of Cups in reverse. So this block that masculine feels right now, that he can't come forward to offer this Ace of Pentacles to the feminine as an indication or a gesture of being able to have love and physical union, is because he has had to temper drinking. And what did I say? I didn't even fucking pull this. And I was like, this feels like the steps to me, like a 12-step program. Okay. So the masculine maybe he entered into a 12-step program. And if you're familiar with the modality, then you know that that program strongly encourages you not to add to your burdens by entering into a relationship. So the masculine feels now that he has to deal with this, with his emotional regulation, which has been very difficult because he is a person who's experienced a lot of emotional overwhelmment from the responsibilities and the traumas that he's experienced. Now he feels very afraid about coming forward because he doesn't want to go back to his old ways, or, you know, he could be currently working on this or not started it yet, because this is a collective reading. So there's a bunch of different states that this person you're thinking about, and yourself, because there is something that you are overwhelmed by, and you have an addiction, and you are either in temperance or need to temper that, and that's a big burden for you. So you have to think about how this is you, not just this person. It's so tempting. You know, like, I don't have a drinking problem. Okay, well, I don't have a drinking problem, but am I addicted to things that I don't stop doing, that hurt me, that create a burden, that hell yeah. How many twin flame readings did I used to watch? Like, I've really had to temper like how much I focus on another person outside of myself, which allows me to not feel my own feelings, or to choose the feelings, sadness or longing, that I want to wallow in, rather than pick up and carry the burden of the responsibility of making myself feel better. This is how you have to do these readings if you want to leave these readings and see change. If you're one of those people that keeps coming to TikTok and commenting, I keep saying the same thing over and over again, I feel you. But the reason why is because when you see what you see, you apply it to a person outside of yourself and wait for them to change, not realizing that it's your job to shift the energy that you're seeing in order to see people arrive who match you. All right, masculine, let's help you clean this up. So how is this block currently manifesting in the 3D? Now, he had a lot to say about this. 3 cards came out. And then the heart space. We're getting the blasted tower. Yeah, no shit. The star, the 6 of swords, and the 2 of pentacles in reverse. I just can't with my job, okay? So let's break this down a little bit. How is this manifesting? Well, there's been a tower moment, or it will cause a tower moment now to reveal the divine feminine energy, the emotions, the healing that has taken place, and move to the next phase. This will be very, very, very destabilizing. It requires an incredible amount of release of past energy. And we're getting the 2 of pentacles in reverse, which is a choice that has been made to balance the eternal connection, to finally transform what was a juggling energy, either juggling karmic partnerships or job or career or family members or obligations or duties, or literally anything that manifested as an external obstacle to doing what it is that masculine desired. So what has happened is this block has manifested by the divine masculine being like, you know what? I choose to release whatever has not served me, whatever is old, to go towards this divine feminine energy, to move away from the old and choose to go towards my feminine. And the other thing that is happening is that for some in the collective, the masculine is thinking that his inability, his working on his addiction and not coming forward, not making this choice, this has caused the divine feminine to let go of him, focus on her own healing and shine and being this incredible star, and have all these opportunities and people who can see her, and move away from the masculine, move away from this eternal connection. So this is something like a fear that's coming up for the masculine energy. What will help remove this block? The Last Judgment and the Hierophant in reverse. Can't make it up. Reconciliation and rebirth, and letting go of the limiting beliefs or old partners. If there is a marriage, ending a marriage, or letting an ex-partner go, a rigid belief system, a religious belief system perhaps, that kept the energy, the masculine energy, from actually doing, like, think about if you're a person who's just starting to learn about your witchy heritage, that was like, you know, a broken line in your family, and you're just starting to dabble in the spiritual, and you're afraid because you were always told in the past that these practices are dark wings and dark words and cause a lot of problems. They could be demonic, that some kind of a rigid belief system like that, that's keeping you from fully embracing your awakening. That can be this meaning here. So what will help remove it is to awaken to how these old beliefs have held you back. This is also asking forgiveness of the feminine for divine masculine's failure to make a commitment in the past. Who or what should I release from my past to move on? The Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords coming out together, can't make that up. And the Hermit, can't make that up. Fearing partnership, fearing collaborating or working with another person, and staying instead on your own. So fear of partnership, union, and intimacy, and allowing that to keep you isolated and alone, staying cozy instead of coming out into the light to receive your reconciliation and rebirth. What can I learn from this current pause? Wow. Wow. Fortitude or strength and the Ace of Cups. How to control my ego, how to feel confident and secure and calm and emotionally regulated, which is what we were seeking here with this Temperance energy. How to allow the feminine desire, emotion, will to tame the masculine ego, and how to receive love from the creator, the divine, and be able to give love to an eternal connection. And then finally, what can I look forward to once the obstacle is removed? I can't, what the hell? The Chariot. Both of these cards are the Chariot. So, wow. Moving to the next level, surrendering your ego to the divine, going with the flow, charging ahead, racing into your future, feeling protected and balanced. And this is the fucking Twin Flame card. Twice. It's also Cancer energy. So that's like home and safety and family. Okay, Divine Masculine. That was like the least worst spread I've ever seen for you in a minute. All right, Feminine. Let's see. I can't, like, I'm looking at this and I just can't even. It's so fucking hilarious. Okay. Divine Feminine. What is the general energy surrounding where you feel blocked? The Hanged Man upright and the Three of Wands in reverse. And you know what this means? It is past due time. Bitch is impatient, okay? I have been hanging around here, kept in the suspension. I can't see the ships coming in. I don't even have faith in the ships anymore. And I want to see something new. I don't want to see this anymore. I hate what I'm seeing. I don't like it. And I want to see love instead of winter, isolation, depression. I want to see passion, fire, love. I know it's there and I can't see it. What the fuck? Does that sound familiar? Also, I will go back to the Divine Masculine to do some more of unblocking with the oracles after the feminine side. So if you still haven't figured out that the feminine side is also within your person and you tune out when you hear your stuff about your own self, that's fine. But stick around because I'm coming back to the masculine energy. Where is Divine Feminine blocked? Oh, I don't know. The Three of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. What is this? Divine Feminine. The universe is asking you with this block, will you please stop trying to control the timeline and refusing to nourish yourself and instead focusing on trying to see the outcome and divinate when this is going to happen, because all that you are doing by this constant over nurturing, over tending, over protective energy about when and how and where and what and whatever, all you're doing is asserting minute after minute, second after second, each day that you are in this state that you do not believe, you do not see, you do not have faith in your ability to be this Queen of Pentacles, to be chosen, to be the one, to receive an offer, to be a wife, to be a mother, to be in the light of the divine feminine. You are afraid, you are afraid, you are afraid. Where does this block originate? You were getting all, you were like, oh, Divine Masculine has so many cards. He's overthinking so much. Well, stop overfeeling and overthinking yourself. This block originated from the Page of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Cups upright and the Ace of Swords in reverse. So your block of impatience and with the timeline and trying to control the situation and trying to control what is happening and being confused and not trusting and not having faith, it comes from this immature communication that you were receiving from a masculine energy, but it's also how you were responding because you were reflecting it back. And it was allowing yourself, it was suppressing your chemistry or spark or connection and trying to seek your Ace of Cups energy, which, by the way, is also over here. We already saw on the masculine side. Seeking your Ace of Cups energy to include others in your own self-love, which is an immature idea. And then refusing to see it. Refusing to see how this was really keeping you stuck, hurting you, killing the things that you desired. So this can look like, you get immature communication from the masculine, and then you're reactionary, and you're like, fine, I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to choose myself, which is good, but you weren't honest about it. You didn't just choose yourself. Part of choosing yourself was including someone else's energy so that you would feel better about your decision. Remember, the masculine's doing the same thing. It's not just the masculine. It's the feminine energy within your person. So your person is doing this too. Not having a mature enough means of communication, trying to fill his own cup, and then not being honest with himself that he was really still expecting others and being around others to be the thing that would make him feel better. So doing this, engaging, this is partying and drinking, look. And this is divine feminine, indulging in being overly emotional and pouring out her cup to this other person, expecting them to fill it. Stop doing that. Okay. How is this manifesting in the 3D? Death, the Hermit, and the Moon in reverse. This is a major energy, how it is manifesting. What is happening is you probably let go of a person that you were stuck on because you can't stand how long it's taking for things to happen. But you did that in order to figure out why you were doing this. So you stopped what you were doing, you ended the behavior. This means your person did too, by the way. You ended the behavior. You stopped engaging with other energy. You stopped trying to make this other person fit. And you accepted being alone. And then on top of it, you went and did the work and you brought illumination to some of the limiting beliefs from your subconscious that were hiding some of the wounds and secrets and reasons why you are still expecting someone else to fill your cup. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that manifestation in the 3D. How can we remove the block? King of Swords in reverse. 8 of Swords upright. 10 of Wands in reverse. So, this is no longer being overly strategic, overthinking, icy, cold, and aloof. This is letting go of this tendency to try to emotionally detach yourself. And when you do that, if that caused you to invite in this other energy, which is blocking you from the desire that you have. So no longer doing that. You can't deny the feelings you have for this person. That's not how you release them. It seems like the best way to release somebody is to hate them, but that hate is still holding on to them. You have to keep the image of the thing you hate in your head in order to hate them. So that is not how you let go of your person. You let go of your person by feeling how much you love them. And that seems counterintuitive, but it's not. You realize, I love this person so much that I will protect them from any kind of communication that I would be wanting to dump on them because of my thoughts that run errant and scare me and hurt me and make me feel like they don't love me or they don't care for me. I reject those mental ideas. I choose to see them as a prison that I have made, my own making. So you have to release this emotional detachment and understand that when you do that, you don't allow yourself to release the other person. You create obstacles that keep you from coming into union with the thing you desire. Clear the way. Maintain healthy boundaries in phases where there is no communication. But clear the way. A healthy boundary does not mean that you are an icy and aloof person. It means that you are in command of your emotions. And because of this command, you are able to communicate in ways that are helpful. So, who or what should I release from my past to move on? The Wheel of Fortune. The Hermit, and the 9 of Pentacles. So, Divine Masculine also has to release the Hermit. How can either one of you come into union if you're both alone? So, definitely that's got to go. This is a focus in the headspace on timing. It is really important that you release this focus on how long this is taking. It will take as long as it takes for you to stop noticing how long it takes. It will take as long as it takes for you to stop noticing how long it takes. That is what I'm going to do when a kid says, "Are we there yet?" in the car. I will say, "We will be there for as long as it takes for you to stop noticing that we're not there yet." Wow, that's infuriating, but very true. And then what's this? This is being single and fabulous. So you have released Hermit energy before. You've released Hermit energy before, and then you've gone into 9 of Pentacles energy. And you were encouraged to by the divine. I wanted to add, you didn't do anything wrong. Nobody has done anything wrong. Having this happen in this, where did the block originate? And there's other people and they're partying with me and stuff. There's nothing wrong with what you did. You did exactly what you were led to do by the subconscious underpinnings that were leading you to the path of enlightenment where you could balance the feminine energy. So you didn't do anything wrong by being single and fabulous or rewarding yourself or being self-indulgent. Release the idea that you did something wrong. You did not. You were obeying this timeline. But if you don't want to be in the timeline of being independent, single, and alone, then you have to release your focus on it. And we'll get there because we'll do how do we go general cards at the end of this reading so that we can find out how the fuck to do that, because that's extremely difficult to do. Okay, so don't feel bad that I said that and you're like, bitch, it's hard to do. Okay, what can I learn from this current pause? Wow, if only I could make this up. The 5 of Cups in reverse, the 7 of Wands in reverse, and the 7 of Pentacles upright. I am learning how to release my victim mentality and my sadness. You know how much I think about my past self. I have to be loving to her. Like, she had experiences that made her feel and think the way that she felt and think, and there was nothing wrong with her. There really wasn't. Exactly what I said. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. But that past version of myself makes me really cringe when I think about it. When I think about how she talked about her life and how she complained about how she was a victim and how people were always doing things to her, and there were all these spilled cups, and she didn't have much gratitude. And she reflected, she was very smart, she was very intelligent, she was very kind, she was all the things that I am now. But she chose to look at the world this way, where you had to fight, where you had to do, that it was a challenge, that it was always going to be hard, that it was never going to be easy. And it's taught you how to have appropriate boundaries with other people in your life, but also with yourself, so that your dark thoughts are no longer keeping you from standing your ground and doing the things that you want to do. And it's allowing you to get to a point where you can lower your guard and be optimistic, even when you have to patiently await for something, which in this case is a beautiful harvest. We're seeing a family here. This is something really good that we are able to now envision happening to us because we've released our negativity and our defensiveness against it. That's what we learn. We learn that when you have to be patient for something, if you release the focus on how it's not here or how difficult it is or how much you have to fight for it, it becomes easy. And then finally, what can I look forward to once this obstacle is removed? The 4 of Cups in reverse, the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, and the Strength card in reverse. Very interesting. We had Fortitude or the Strength card over here for the masculine. And the 4 of Cups in reverse for me is a card that's about finally accepting abundance, finally accepting that your love must come from the divine, that it must come from self, finally grounding, coming out of fantasy, coming out of dreams, which we saw was happening right now. You're no longer stuck in fantasy or dreams or illusions or limiting beliefs, but actually being able to ground something in the material. And the heart space is leaving behind the fears and anxieties associated with being left out in the cold or FOMO or lack, poverty consciousness and lack consciousness, and instead making way for this fortitude we see coming from the masculine side of self that is taking this action to fill its own cup and allow the feminine to actually control or get command of that beastly energy within. In this instance, it's no longer the feminine's job. She doesn't have to do this job anymore because the masculine is doing it himself. We saw that over here. So what you have to look forward to, feminine, is no longer, if you're patient right now, if you are patient, you are drawing to you a masculine energy that is no longer controlled by their addictions or their feelings of unworthiness. You're getting that. That dream is becoming a reality, but it requires patience. What if you needed time to heal? Would you hope that the masculine would give you the time and space you needed? All right, let's go to the oracles and help unblock even more. Divine masculine, there is something preventing you right now from sacred sexual union. I asked, what is preventing the masculine from sacred sexual union? What is the obstacle? And I received the oracle. And this is a high priestess type of an energy. And I want to grab the booklet that goes with this because I finally have it here on my phone. So this is intuition first and foremost, and the balance between light, dark, masculine, feminine, body, and spirit. This oracle encourages you to shed your ego and to be empathetic to others. It is very important for you to pay attention to your dreams and incoming psychic visions to unveil deeper meanings and pertinent information. Listen to your heart and be high-minded about conflicts. Okay, so this balancing has been very, very difficult for you. This might not be as difficult for feminine identifying gender or biology because we have been required to adjust to the patriarchy and invite masculine characteristics rather than the society shifting and allowing feminine characteristics to have as much value as masculine. We have been encouraged to just become more masculine in order to be equal. So for the feminine to be able to balance in her side, the feminine identifying gender, this is much simpler because we've been required to. The masculine has been strongly discouraged from embodying any feminine characteristics. So for the masculine to fully embody the feminine is frightening. Literally frightening. You can be killed for being transgender, right? You can be killed for being gay. Like, if it's not like a small thing to be afraid of allowing the feminine energy to exist inside of you. It can mean a death in a lot of ways. And you know that because if you're watching and you are a person that is feminine gendered or identifying that way, then you understand the fear of being that in that energy because of how it has been oppressed. Remember, we saw the Lord of oppression coming from the masculine. He himself has been an oppressor and has oppressed himself and his feminine. What will help release this block? The 10 of Pentacles, or the 10 of coins in this deck. And again, I'm just going to get the insight from this because I really like them. Let's first, wands are first. I wish it was easier to navigate. I wish I had a printer. Okay, here we go. You spent years, if not your entire life, committed to spreading positivity and making your dreams come true. Having integrity and working with and caring for others pays off. You are now in a position to enjoy what you've made. You are surrounded by people who love and respect you as well as all the hard work you've done. Congratulations, baby. You've made it. So, divine masculine, you have to start to see yourself this way in order to unblock that fear that integrating the feminine is going to actually end up killing you. When in reality, it's going to bring you all of your material happiness. So giving yourself the one instead of filling your needs with all these others, this is actually going to make you happy. And we will get some guardians to help us with these doors, unblocking, etc. First, I wanted to actually open or close a door for you. Here we have this card, which I absolutely can attest has been so annoying to me right now. This is the Knave of Swords, or the Page of Swords. And they make this guy look like a creepy pedophile because there is an essence of this energy coming from the Page of Swords nowadays, because we associate this card with curiosity and bravery and picking up a sword and wielding it, even though we don't know how. There's all kinds of things. But most often we are associating it now, like on TikTok and in YouTube readings, with spying via social media. Okay. And this is blocking you, divine masculine. This is, it's funny because my masculine has done some things that have made him less appealing to me over the years. And one of the things that he probably doesn't realize is such a turnoff to me, more than when I find out about him being with other energy, whatever, is that I know that he watches my stories because he responds to them, number one. Number two, I can see the bot accounts that view or download them, which means there's a third-party account that he's using to see it. Rather than just admitting that he looks at it, I admit when I look at his by just viewing it from my obvious account. Like, I have used private accounts before, but I don't do this anymore. And this is a block. If you are doing this, if you as a person are using a private account to view your masculine person, stop doing that. Use your own damn account or don't look at him. And if you're like, well, I don't want to give him the satisfaction, then don't give him the satisfaction. You're looking at something you can't have right now, which is emphasizing that you can't have it. So I would strongly encourage my masculine, if he can't have me, to stop trying to see me without just using his own actual account, not one of his myriad private ones that he then blocks to pretend that he wasn't really there, even though I saw it happen, ... Okay? Such a turnoff. So masculine, this is a block for you. Literally, you just heard me being like, ew, you can't be man enough. And I'm using that in a completely energetic, in its energetic meaning, to just admit what we both know is true, 52:22 on the clock. Here's what will open the door. The King of Swords. And the King of Swords actually is arriving to bring medicine, bring healing to this feminine energy that has been debilitated. This is a wheelchair, and this energy is actually the woman that is in the card that represents the Three of Swords, somebody who has been really wounded and hurt. So what will open this door so that masculine doesn't have to spy anymore is if he comes to the divine feminine to talk to her about how he's healing himself and how he has a strategy or a plan in place for helping to heal the wounds that have existed between them. So the guardians that are going to help the masculine right now, I can't make it up. Saint Bernadette, speak your truth. How do you get more truthful than the King of Swords? You just don't. And yet the feminine is here to help you with this because she is receiving her guidance from the divine. So use your intuition to speak the truth to your feminine. And Saint Bernadette can help you. So honestly, if you want this to be effective, when you come here and watch these readings, if you don't just want to come back and see me tomorrow and listen to another reading about how your divine masculine hasn't called you yet and nothing has happened, then today I strongly urge you, if you don't mind, like if this isn't jarring for you to work with a saint, look up a prayer to Saint Bernadette and read it. Do a novena to her. Call her in for help. If Catholic saints is something that's uncomfortable for you, that's okay. Just look to the divine feminine to help you know your truth and speak it, and use any I'm coughing from my third chakra energy, like blocked. Unblocking coming up. Any feminine energy that you believe in or that you feel, it could just be your higher self. It doesn't matter, but call on that energy to help you speak your truth in all things. Crow spirit is here. Co-create with spirit. This is number 17. And remember, that was our whole theme, the Magus, co-creating. Oh, I opened right to it. Crow spirit wants to know why you think there is no magic in the world, masculine. Do you believe that there once was, but it ran out, leaving nothing but ordinariness? Although conditions have become challenging, you have no reason to believe that everything you've set an attention for will elude you. Right now, the outer world is shifting. Can you feel it? Maybe you are fretting about experiencing the results of some of your poor choices or judgment from the past. Crow spirit is here to remind you that you can always course correct and get back on track. Maybe you've been hit by a loss or disappointment as a result of an event that had absolutely nothing to do with your manifesting, yet it has shaken you to your core. Crow spirit asks you to trust that no matter the temporary conditions, things will right themselves very soon. The law of balance makes it inevitable that it will do so, and you have the law of balance beginning and ending your reading. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. Oh, by the way, I got my test results back. I do not have COVID. Glad to know that. Okay. I don't know why it took me a freaking week to get those results, but apparently I did not have COVID. I just had another really annoying, shitty cold. So, great. Alrighty. Divine Masculine, your healing for today is coming from the sacrament of extreme unction, which in the Catholic faith is the final sacrament that a person receives before they pass into the afterlife. Your heart knows how to let go so you can find peace. It is time for you to experience spiritual closure. A beautiful new reality is opening up for you. Entering it requires you to release your attachment to the past. You have been inwardly preparing for a powerful rebirth. Now is the time to trust in what is meant for you and move toward it with an open, trusting heart and peaceful mind. In an ideal world, we would finish our inner work, be completely healed, check it off the list, and move on without any issues from the past intruding into our present life. In a more realistic view, we do our best to muddle through, gaining enough understanding and healing to attain some degree of closure and move on as best we can, flicking off remnants of the past which can arise even whilst we are doing our best to let go. In an even more challenging turn of our growth spiral, we may know something has run its course and no longer belongs in our world, and yet have trouble exercising the past and its pains, confusions, or attachments, so it bleeds through into the present, even though we know it doesn't belong there. To avoid the taint of the past causing unnecessary issues in the present, the Oracle of the Sacrament of Extreme Unction brings powerful spiritual last rites so you can be cleansed and liberated into the fullness of your next phase. In the Catholic tradition, extreme unction is performed at the time of physical passing to cleanse the soul and allow it to gracefully leave the body and enter the afterlife. In the context of this oracle, the symbolic equivalent of the sacrament is the powerful intervention of spirit to free you from the grip of what has been. It is a liberation from habit and the compelling lure of the familiar. It is divine forgiveness and healing. Let yourself off the hook of guilt, blame, or shame. Give yourself permission to acknowledge that all people, including you, have done their best. This keeps coming up. My mentor and I literally said this to each other on Christmas when we communicated again and hadn't communicated for a long time and did. And I told her that my grandmother was just doing her best. And she said, I think that's what we're all doing. We're all doing our best. The universe is offering you a powerful spiritual gift. Your heart knows how to receive it. Let go. There is no turning back. It is time to start anew. It is your time to be happy and free. So choose happiness, choose the sun, Divine Masculine, and don't fear that the issues from the past that you are working on, whether it's alcoholism or whatever, cannot be muddled through with your person. You are not ever going to be perfect. I love you, but that's never going to happen. So rather than wait for that impossible thing, embrace your imperfection. Embrace that, as my mentor says, reality is perfect. And then this is your theme. It is the Prince of Cups or the Page of Cups. It is apologies and true love, innocent, heartfelt love. It is new love, new beginnings, new opportunities. Go and get it. Feminine, your turn. Come down off your high horse there. Now it's your turn. What is blocking you from sacred sexual connection? It is the Princess of Wands. Oh my God. Which we already saw today. Oh my God, I can't hold the fucking card. Okay, there's the Princess of Wands right there. I just got to get to the wands here. Oh, my puppers is crying in her sleep. The Princess of Wands is precious and excitable, always looking for ways to aesthetically improve her surroundings. She is spontaneous and doesn't always consider how her decisions might negatively affect others. Her teenage spirit is one that wants to change the world, but has little means or foresight to do so. Be wary of what you might lose when you approach life like a party that never ends. Now, it's so interesting because that was what your block was, Divine Feminine, in your whole reading. So this block that you carry with you in general is actually blocking you from your sacred sexual union as well. And for me, this is you have quenched the fire, you've turned off the desire or the spark, or try to suppress it. It's more likely that you try to suppress it. Oh, this just reminded me, I feel like you can't really see them. I'm gonna have to get a close-up of them, but this is the Klimt painting, The Kiss. So cute. My mom got those for me. They're so cute. I love tiny things, and it's literally a tiny, accurate Klimt painting. Love that. Okay. What's funny is it's like the yellow earrings are here. And very interesting. Okay. So Divine Feminine, we've quenched or suppressed the fire for sacred sexual union, most likely because of the fears of it not working out or how it might negatively affect others. So you haven't wanted to have sex with anyone because you might fuck things up. That's like been what has been blocking you there. Or if your person has done something that's turned you off, which I described at length. Why are there 4 cards here? Oh, okay. There's 2 parts. My bad. Princess or Page energy of Wands and the 4 of Cups. So everything I just said, what's interesting is you had the 4 of Cups in reverse here. So this is what was coming when you unblocked. And here it is upright. So the fantasy. Okay. So you're suppressing, fantasizing about being sexual with your person or any other persons. That's definitely happening. You might be thinking about your masculine person fucking other people, that immature energy, and that might make it hard for you because what will unblock you is very interesting. It is the 9 of Cups in reverse with the 3 of Cups upright. The 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. When it's upright, it is like you're going to get your wish. In this case, she's doing a lot of releasing here, expressing all of the water, the feelings, the emotions, right, that are within her, so to speak. 11:22 on the clock when I said that. So what will help you to get past this block of either no longer fantasizing about somebody because you're trying to suppress your feeling for them or worrying about the third-party energy that they engaged in is allowing yourself to not be afraid of what you wish for. If you want to have fun and you want to have physical union and you want to come into union with your masculine energy and be sexual, then allow yourself to have that wish. Allow yourself to fantasize or think about it. It's the suppression of it that is keeping it from happening. So if you're not looking at this as in a sexual way, but in a kundalini way, in a coming together, that energy, that caduceus of the intersections of those two energies, then you need to, rather than think about how you don't know now because your fantasies of this person are not working out or whatever, or they haven't in the past, then you now need to fantasize about what you truly wish. Don't be afraid. If you want to come into union with that person, then fantasize about it. It won't happen otherwise. Now, when we fantasize about something we're afraid won't happen, that's when we're seeing those wounds come up. That's when we're seeing, if you're trying to be in that headspace and then you're picturing your masculine energy with other energy, super relatable, and it like kills your mood, then you're not wanting to think about that masculine. You're not wanting to think about that person. You're wanting to go general, sexually speaking. Instead of thinking about this person, think about what you like, what you enjoy in general, and have a much more general fantasy about sexuality for yourself. What door needs to be opened for you, Divine Feminine? I can't make it up. This is what's blocking you. We already know that because it's what you had to release. The Wheel of Fortune. It's so interesting because in this image, we see a seance taking place. And that is what is forming this wheel. And there's a lot of individuals involved. And when you involve more than one person, of course, you are, thank you, Elizabeth, for following me. I have 717 followers. If that was 787, I would jump because that's my number for union. So we're seeing here there are other parties involved. And so you thinking about the time as being about someone else and what they're doing, or like if there's a karmic partner or if there's whatever, you're thinking about the situation as if there are other people that are influencing your ability to have what is divine and a divine experience, then that is limiting you, because none of these people are preventing you from experiencing your divine union. It's you still. It's something within you that is fixated on how it hasn't been time for it. So you have to stop. This is the end, the death card. This is the end of grieving how long it's taken, how many people have been involved. You might need to completely end a relationship with somebody. You might need to end the grieving process. Like, you've been grieving for a long time. It's time to leave these flowers, leave these signs of respect and honor for what has happened, and leave the cemetery. Excuse me. And actually leave the cemetery and not stay there anymore. So it's really up to you to choose to end the way you're looking at the situation. You are not a victim, and you're not a victim of the time it takes, and you're not a victim of anyone involved. You're not even a victim of the divine masculine who, quote unquote, needs time to heal. You are imagining that is so. You have your own stuff to clear out, your own beliefs that you have to let die. You have two guardians to help you. Forgiveness. Mary Magdalene. I forgive myself for not forgiving you. And with this, I forgive you too. That is how you will be able to come into union. Without forgiveness, there is no union. And the divine masculine understands that, because in his, what will help remove this block, there is inherently forgiveness. So divine feminine, you have to be in a state of forgiveness. And it's most likely it is yourself that you must forgive rather than the masculine person. And you have to find how that's true for you. And if you're afraid or you don't know or you're confused or you need clarity, do the same thing with Saint Bernadette that I suggested. Find prayer to Saint Mary Magdalene, or read about Mary Magdalene, or watch something about her and let her inspire you. And remember that Mary Magdalene's sin was that she had to sell her body in order to be able to survive. She had to compromise herself and couldn't forgive herself for that. And Jesus forgave her for that. So if you can enter into Jesus's energy and think of your masculine in Mary Magdalene's energy, there's healing for you there. And skunk spirit is going to help you. This is know your worth. If you know your value, then you're not afraid how long it takes for someone else to be able to come up and tell you about it. You already know it, so you don't really need to hear it from them. And you don't fear that it's going to take a super long time because you know your worth. You know that if this person who has been dragging his feet isn't coming, there's definitely going to be someone else. What do you value? What do you believe in? Is your best, most authentic self on display? Skunk spirit comes as a reminder that you can be proud of who you are and what you have accomplished. Know your worth. Not everyone will agree with you or share your values, but you can walk with your head high, knowing that when you express your integrity, others can feel your authenticity and will be inspired by it. Be who you are, and if your reputation precedes you, good. You have much to be proud of, and Skunk Spirit wants you to be the best self, the true you. Your healing for today is Ishtar, Lionsgate. 888 is the frequency of the music that you might want to listen to today to help you with this healing energy, and it is the 44 card. Of course it is. Your heart has a heightened connection with the higher realms of consciousness and light. A blessing, empowerment, and positive omen shall enter your world. Doors will open for you. Abundance and prosperity are headed your way. Take care of your heart. Ask for spiritual assistance, and it shall be granted. Something negative is going to transform into something very positive. Ishtar is the queen of the night, a dark goddess of loss and letting go, but also a priestess of light who holds the keys to renewal from suffering. She is relentless in her pursuit of the path to true inner freedom. She willingly surrenders her attachments and her identities, even separating herself temporarily from her loved ones with such boldness and confidence that she crosses into realms where others dare not go. She experiences vulnerability and in that state discovers deep truth. Ishtar is the capacity of the soul to integrate our experiences. After reaching the greatest depths of suffering, she emerges and is reinstated upon her rightful throne with even greater wisdom, spiritual power, and compassion. In a reading, she is a guardian and symbol of resurrection. You shall rise again. Those who have felt as though their identity or any other marker of security has been torn away from them are her children. Me, Chiron, and Taurus right here. They will find their way back to peace and prosperity under her auspices. If you have been suffering, this oracle indicates an end of the struggle is imminent. You shall be restored with so much more than you have lost. This oracle brings a message of a breakthrough. Oh, I should say that the Lion's Gate falls when the sun is in Leo, and Leo is the sign of the lion, the astrological ruler of the heart, and the animal totem sacred to Ishtar. The rising of Sirius took place on 26th of July in ancient Egypt, which marked the beginning of the Egyptian New Year. The 888 frequency will stimulate your soul in its unique way. It facilitates a deepening intimacy between the spiritual worlds and the earth plane, an amplification of light, and an outpouring of positive blessing for humanity. It is believed many, if not all, cosmic avatars who come to Earth as advanced spiritual guides hail from Sirius and make their blessings increasingly available to humanity during this opening between the worlds. This oracle brings a message of a breakthrough and healing, of a significant lightening up of your life and the end of a deeply challenging cycle in your life. There is a special divine dispensation augured by the oracle of Ishtar's Lion's Gate 888. Where hope has been difficult to find or all seems lost, the light shall return and beautiful blessings are destined to unfold in your life. You also got that 4-4 card too. The masculine did, right? Yeah. All right. And this is your theme, Divine Feminine. The 10 of Pentacles. Material happiness and prosperity and wealth and abundance. And in this case, there is no actual depiction of what this looks like for you. It's an openness to understanding that what you're trying to see, you can't see because you're trying to see it. Instead, observe in the present and see what is now here. Not what is expected or what is coming, but what is present right now. And start to fit that into your picture of material happiness. And if there are a lot of gaps and you can't make it fit, then you know that you are drawing things into your life that don't match your true, authentic self. All right, we're at the final oracles for the reading. These are the things that the twins are in union in regards to, or that both sides of self share. And this is where I tell you, please go to pearlsprayers.com and book a personal reading there. There's links below. You can send me a deck. You can click support to send me gratuities. That is how I survive, by personal readings. And also, let me just explain this to everyone because it is annoying and difficult. I wish it was not this complex, but it is. Okay, so there are 2 ways that you can support me that are super simple and affordable. The first one is just to become a member of the website for $3.33 a month. When you go to do that, you have to request my permission, and I have to give you the permission. I don't know why the website works like this. It does. I have to give you permission, and then you can go and purchase the, this is for the spiritual nourishment course. For the membership, all you have to do is go over to the packages and pricing section, or even just there's a section that says like how to become a member. Click that, pay $3.33, sign up for that plan, and then you're automatically, I will be able to make you a member. I think I still have to approve it, but it's not as complex as the other thing that you can do to support me, which is a really cool thing. And I would love to invite you to do this. I'm doing a spiritual nourishment program course. It is self-directed. It's already available. You can start it. We're going to start it all together on the 1st. And just so you can get a sense of what that course is, what it involves. It is learning to embody the new intuitive nourishment of the divine feminine energy within self. It is for anyone who may have struggled with tuning into our divine right to pleasure, nourishment, and adornment. It begins with exploring methods to heal disordered eating patterns, food and body image anxiety, and restrictive beliefs about deprivation. You will explore the first 4 principles of intuitive eating alongside mindfulness techniques, journal prompts, past life regression exploration, and ritual magical practices that will enhance your connection to the divine mother energy and allow you to truly begin to retrieve and nourish your soul. And we've used the language of the tarot, recommended reading, and we've designed these really fun rituals to do so that you can start to become the Empress to tune in. If you want to do that, go to the website, click on the program, and it's going to say request approval. I then have to give you approval as a member to the site. It doesn't give you members only access until you purchase, though. So I say, okay, now you can do it. Then I have to you have to go back and click it again. I don't know why. And then I have to approve you as a pending member of the program, and then you can buy it. The program costs $55 right now, but if you buy it now, there's going to be a window period where you and a buddy can take the course for free. You just have to give me their email, and then I will notify you how to sign up so that they can also take the course at the same time as you. If you're interested in that, that's on my website. If that's confusing, send me an email. We will work through it together. And I do appreciate everybody's patience. It was soft launched on the 23rd just for the reason that we could see how complex it would be so that we could work out the kinks and try to smooth it out when it hard launches on the 1st. All right. That was a lot of stuff. You can see me for sure on Friday for Release and Rebuild. Tomorrow, if you want to see Tell Me Everything, you do have to be a member of the website. This weekend, I should be doing a reading with Grace Strega. I haven't heard from her yet. She's on a trip, so just stay tuned to my stories to find out about that one. Okay, let's do the rest of this reading. Divine, masculine, and feminine. You are sharing the energy. The block for you sexually is, for sacred sexual union, is this 5 of Cups energy. And because I'm really liking these little descriptions, I'm going to pull this one too. I just wish it was easier to do. Okay. So for me, this is pessimism. We already saw Divine Feminine having this, learning how to get rid of this pessimism in her current pause, but this says that feeling after a breakup or a really bad come down when you believe that you will be alone forever and the hollow aching emptiness inside of you will never be full again. You chained yourself to a master who said forever and didn't mean it, even after branding you. Though you have a right to despair as you accept that things have ended, you must move on and know that this pain is temporary and you are your own master and you still have the power. Well, that sounds like the block you have to me. All right, well, what will open that door? Hey, look! It's exactly what would help the masculine in his block, that King of Swords energy. In reverse and Divine Feminine, it was exactly what would help remove your block. The King of Swords in reverse. Not being emotionally detached, or maybe emotionally detaching from the past pain. But let's take a look at, again, what this nifty book has to say. The King of Swords is a man of intellect, strength, and power. At his worst, he can be cruel and emotionless. This person may be distant and hard to reach, but that doesn't always mean he doesn't love you. He may be showing you tough love, or he is unable to show love and doesn't know how or care when he is hurting others. If the king is you, be wary of how isolation can lead to paranoia and self-destruction. If this king appears in your life, proceed with caution. Okay, well, interestingly, the sadness and despair you feel about how you're going to be alone forever and how this masculine broke up with you or did something that caused you to break up with him and it broke your heart and his heart is broken and y'all are heartbroken and you're like, how can I stop and just be able to come together? And the universe is like, well, fucking emotionally detach from that, because your heartbreak and pain is over something that happened in the past. And we're not in the past anymore. And if you both want to come together and heal the wounds that caused what the separation, then you need to detach from the painful feelings that are keeping you in separation. Oh my God. What door do you need to open? What is stuck? What is blocked? The Strength card. Jesus Christ. We've gotten the Strength card and Fortitude and the Lion's Gate and Leo. Like me. You want to hear something creepy? I've been working with a bunch of different clients, and I realized that 4 of my clients have their Chiron placement, which in your astrology, your Chiron placement is the place, it's called the wounded healer. It's the part of you that's a karmic debt that you keep having to pay until you learn the lesson. And then once you learn the lesson, you become a master there and you can heal others. Well, 4 of my clients have a Chiron in Leo. And I just had another person yesterday do a reading, and I guessed by the end of the reading that their Chiron was in Leo, because since I am a Leo sun and a Leo moon, and it's probably the Leo moon that actually makes this most appealing. If your Chiron placement is in Leo and you are having a hard time shining, like getting abundance from your dreams, allowing it, like if you're trying to get followers and you can't get followers, and like there's weird, and you're like, why doesn't this ever work out? Why doesn't it ever work? Call me. Apparently, I help people with that specific wound. And one of the people that I worked with, whose Chiron placement is in Leo, now has like a reel. After I did work with her reel is like going up over 100,000 views. She's got like 6 figures in her bank account now. I'm like, girl, you're doing better than me. But that's because my Chiron is in Taurus. So if there's any healers out there that are in Taurus energy that want to do my readings and help me heal my Chiron placement, please call. But anyway, very interesting. So Leo rising there, Elizabeth, is significant because that's going to be a dominant feeling, trait within you. Like my Pisces rising dominates over my Leo lots of times. So the door that you need to open is this door to self-control. It's controlling the ego. And for each of you, there's different elements here, but it is that the feminine energy must command this beastly ego energy. The intuition must counter the mind's wildness. And the way to do this is the 6 of Pentacles. And in this picture, there's a mother and son opening their door on what looks like a Christmas morning and getting this basket filled with all of these gifts. This is a card about reciprocation. In this case, I do feel that in order for this door to be opened up, the strength of this relationship, it absolutely depends on the reciprocal energy. There must be an even exchange. What goes in must come out. What goes out must come in. That is the only way that this connection will remain strong, and that the battle of pride and ego and the feminine and the masculine, the only way for balance is if there's true reciprocation here. Without reciprocation, the connection cannot withstand these pressures, and it will end. This card came out in today's reading for the person that I did the Tell Me Everything spread. So interesting to see it here again. And it is The Miracles Are Endless. And that reading that I did for her, I was like, bitch, I'm claiming this reading for myself. It was so good. Cow Spirit asks you to pay attention to how you nourish your mind, body, and spirit, because right now you are wobbling around like a newborn calf on its unsteady legs. Perhaps you have been spending too much time distracting yourself on the internet or obsessing over a relationship, or doing both, or choosing to eat food that is not healthy. I've actually been eating very healthy. Whatever it is, you're being nudged to assess how you are looking after your needs. Remember, the universe has a way of reflecting back to you events and conditions that match how you treat yourself. Cow Spirit reminds you that the universe wants to give you the very best, but needs you to do your part to participate and nourish your well-being. Heed her message and everything will shift in your favor. And they may give you the very best, and they italicized that. And that made me think of the statement that we talked about earlier in the reading. I do my best. I always do my best, or I am doing my best. If you're doing your best, the universe gives you the best. So if your best is, then the shit you get from the universe is like, and if you can increase your best and really step up, that's what you're going to get. That's the reciprocation card, right? Your guardian to help you with this is your guardian angel in general, and this emphasis that heaven is watching over you. really believing that you're protected, that you are held, that you are nourished. You know, like my puppy, she doesn't speak my language, right? We share now. We've been together for a couple months. There's some words she definitely knows. She's still a little confused about some things, but she's got paw now, and she definitely knows lie down, even though she doesn't want to do it. And, you know, we're getting there. There's words. But for the most part, our language that we speak to one another, it's really difficult to understand. So when I get my puppy and I go to take her out in the morning, she started this trend where she accepts her collar, because I take her collar off at night so it's not jangling, and she'll accept her collar. And then I go to put her, I have a Magdalene leash, which is appropriate for big dogs because it will tighten if they pull, because Huskies will pull out of their regular leashes. Huskies will do everything to get away from you. Anyway, so I go to put that on her, and for all other things, I'll say sit, and she's good. And then when I have to put that lead on her, she ducks her head, she looks down, she tries everything to get out of it. She'll sit because she's good. She'll still be sitting, but she'll like look around, she'll bite it, and I'll be like, well, we can't go outside until we put it on. And when I say that to her, the only word she's really hearing is outside. She just knows that that's where we're going. She doesn't want to wear that leash because she's going to pull on it and it's going to tighten on her, and she doesn't like it. And the only thing I can do is just sit there calmly and wait for her to accept the lead. And I have to trust that she's going to accept the lead, number one. And number two, she's got to trust that I'm putting her on a lead for a good reason, that I'm not just a mean person that's trying to choke her out. And that like I'm also guiding her where she will be safe, because I guide her away from dogs that don't look like they're safe. I guide her away from glass on the street, from cars that are coming. I make sure she doesn't run away into the street, like, right? So we don't have a language that I can explain that to her yet. If she was my toddler, it'd be the same. I would be like, you have to wear your hat and your gloves. And the toddler would be like, and you would be like, it's fucking 40 below zero. Trust me, you need your goddamn hat and gloves. And it's like, and then they're crying and screaming, and you're frustrated, and you're shoving the shit on their head. And they're like, why is my parent being so mean and pushing on me and pulling on me and making me wear this fucking hot shit that I don't want to put on inside? And then you take them outside and they see snow and they're like, ooh, that's kind of cool. I like all that stuff. I'm sure glad I'm wearing my hat, my gloves, and mittens, and I probably forgot about it now, because now I'm in a place where I'm glad that I have this on. So imagine then that the universe is this type of a parent, okay? The universe is extremely, extremely advanced, and they speak a language that is unlike anything of the earth. And we get like a few words, you know, like, relax. How am I supposed to relax? What's that? Like, all these things are happening, but you said relax, and then all this other shit is happening. I can't relax, right? Like, we're getting one or two words from the universe, but the whole language, the whole reasoning, all of the being shifted here, pushed there, going in that direction, having to wear a lead, choking out, wondering why I'm choking, all this stuff. You have to trust that there is this parent who loves you. And you might not understand why they're making you eat broccoli, or why they're making you, learn how to go potty, or why they're doing any of these fucking things that are so mysterious to you, because you're just trying to figure it all out. But at the end of the day, this love, this affection that you receive, my puppy, even though she doesn't know what I'm saying, once she puts the lead on, I love her, I kiss her, I hug her, I say, good girl, you did a good job. She doesn't know why the fuck she had to get the lead on. All she knows is that when she did put it on, she received all this affection and love, and that makes her feel secure again. This keeps coming up for the collective. This is the Ein Sof hour for the healing. And let me grab that book. This is number 22. We had 44. Now we have 22. Jeez Louise. A way through the struggle has already been created for you, and you are being led onto the path. And what did I just talk about? I talked about my dog fighting her lead. Not wanting to put the lead on because she doesn't want to feel restriction. She doesn't want to feel like there are certain places she can't go. She doesn't want to feel when I say, you can't eat that, don't do that, leave it. Whatever I say, usually leave it to her. She picks up something gross in her mouth. I say, leave it. And I tug on the leash so that she doesn't pick up the deadly toxic thing that's going to kill her, right? You are being led onto that path. Your authentic soul path may include recognition and acclaim, notable success and admiration. Be grateful, but do not be dazzled or distracted by such experiences. Focus on what connects you to your heart and grounds you in the simplicity of spiritual truth, which is the practice of love, kindness, and peace. This will allow for successful progress in the material world without disturbing the sanctity of your soul. Acknowledgement is the beginning of healing. If something isn't quite right, be kind and wise enough to admit it. Then seek out the genuine light, which will evoke peace in your heart. Have the courage and trust to let go of approaches that will not lead you anywhere worth going. As you open yourself to what is, even the unexpectedly difficult twists of fate, you will become ever closer to the radiant grace and luminous clarity which is reassuring you, healing you, guiding you, and loving you. Beautiful. And your final card, your final focus, although it's not your final thing I'm going to do because I'm going to do these I'm on time wellness cards final for the final thing, but this theme for the two of you is the Knight of Swords. The swiftest, fastest moving knight in the deck, the one that communicates, the one that speaks truth, that comes in their integrity, that follows a strategy or a plan that was implemented by somebody with wisdom and mastery. So they will go where they need to go and they will be successful because there is no way for them not to be. That is the theme that you have this week. Approaching situations with speed. So if you get at 11:55 on the clock, if you get a feeling to do something, don't say, okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Don't do that. That's not how you do it. If you're sitting, you're going to feel, after I tell you this, you're going to feel like you have ADHD. But trust me, okay? If you're sitting and doing something and you get a weird feeling to do something, and I don't mean message your masculine. No. We're not true. The less you think, talk, look at this person you're trying to be with, the more success you will have in your life and in potentially ever seeing this person. So I'm not talking about you sitting there watching Pride and Prejudice for the 27th time and being like, I should message my masculine. No. Something that is not related to your person, but you get a feeling. It's random. It'll be like, oh, I should talk to my friend that I haven't talked to in like 7 years. Do it. If you get the feeling when you go to eat something and you're like, ew, why do I have a craving for SpaghettiOs? Go get SpaghettiOs. Not because you should eat SpaghettiOs as the most nourishing form, but actually if your body is craving it, maybe you're craving something from your childhood and you need some kind of fulfilling experience. And if you eat some SpaghettiOs, you'll be filled with that experience and comforted or whatever. And so what you needed is good and you don't feel shame about it and it's great and moving on. And if you need more help with that, go to spiritual nourishment course. But let's say you just get this thought, like, I want SpaghettiOs, but you don't have any. And you're like, well, I could order them through delivery or I could go to the store. Maybe I'll go to the store, I guess. There's some other things I could get. So then you leave your apartment, you go to the store, go over to the SpaghettiO aisle, and you look up and, oh, there's somebody that you haven't seen in a long time. You're like, oh my God, what are you doing here? I just stopped here. I don't even live in this neighborhood, but I had to get gas and then I was thirsty. So I just wanted to run in here. I saw they had a Starbucks in here and you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you so long. You start talking. Then after that person is like, you know what? I'm doing this thing next week. I can't believe I saw you. You're like the person I'd want to speak to about that. Can you do that? Can you help that? Can you go there? Do you want this? Do you did whatever? If you get the feeling to eat SpaghettiOs and you're like, I'll get that like the next time I go to the store. You might be missing something. We tend to postpone because we're comfortable. And if you get uncomfortable, and what's more uncomfortable than doing something, getting just settled into something, and all of a sudden feeling an urge to go and do something. Go do it. Just be uncomfortable and see what happens. That card for me is just do what you're urged to do with a strategy. If it was Knight of Wands, I'd be like, no strategy, balls to the wall, go ahead. But with the Knight of Swords, it's like, I'm going to call this person, and I've been wanting to talk to them about this, and then communicate with this person about this thing. Do those kind of things. All right, let's finish this whole reading now with this final thing where we can help the masculine energy and the feminine energy unblock a thought by going general. So there's something that the masculine has been thinking about over and over all the time, can't stop thinking, wants to stop thinking about it, doesn't know how to fix it. What is that energy, please? And the same thing for the feminine energy. And now what will help? What should they focus on instead? Or what will help remove this block, I guess, is this position kind of here? There were two things there. And then for the feminine, all right, two things we're balancing out here. And then finally, how can they go general in order to accomplish this? Okay. So let's start with the masculine side. I can't. If you have been following these readings, then you will be very familiar with this card. Okay, what's really interesting is that the other day when I did this, Divine Masculine was thinking about something and the universe was like, okay, do this instead. And now we've got this card. This is what he's been doing instead. This card says not today. Not dealing her, avoiding a conversation, call person, boundaries, and still angry. So Divine Masculine is avoiding calling because he is afraid that the feminine is still angry and that he will be violating her boundaries if he communicates. Now, to this, I will say from my own experience, I had a friend who needed space, and they told me they wanted space. I knew that this person was avoidant. This person told me they wanted space. They said they did not want any communication. They did not know how long that would last. Because I knew this person was avoidant, it was difficult for me to decide how to navigate. Like, I didn't know if this person would still have anger. I didn't know if this person was wanting me to come back in, and I didn't want to violate their boundaries. But at the same time, I knew that if I didn't say something, that she probably wouldn't communicate with me. So rather than avoiding this conversation or avoiding it, I risked violating the no communication boundary by sending her a positive Christmas message and just telling her, hey, my door is open. So in that case, I had to navigate. Do I keep putting this off until I get a sense that she wants me to actually communicate? Or do I just go ahead and do it? So this is the same thing I'm seeing going for the masculine. He is like, should I communicate? Or is that going to be violating boundaries because she's still angry? So he's like, I don't know. I keep thinking about this, blah, blah, blah. The universe is like, well, what should you think about instead? And then we get these two cards. I like you, which is in reverse. And I love you, love, which is upright. So here is how masculine can soothe himself. Divine feminine might not like you right now because of what you did and how you carried yourself, and that you flirted with others, and that you were engaging in these shallow karmic relationships. She might not like that you did that. And she might feel a little bit like she doesn't like you right now, but she always loves you. And you can be in a state with a person where you don't like how they're acting, but you still love them. So you need to, instead of avoiding this conversation because you think she's still angry or violating her boundaries, understand that it's true. You did some shit. You did some shit and you know what it is. But there is love here. And you don't have to worry about forgiveness when there is love. So how do you go general, though? Because thinking about your divine feminine loving you is not going to help you. I'm holding this card in my hand. I'm hoping the universe is going to channel right through me to explain it. Because here's the runner card. This is how you can go general divine masculine. It says runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, and listening to the ego. So I want you to think of a time in the past when how do we navigate this one? A time in the past when you experienced a fear of something, but instead of running away from it, you ran towards it and something good happened. So I just felt something like on the tip of my tongue that I could use it as an example. Running towards something instead of running away from it. Well, one thing that's coming up for me is, when I fear financial obligations and I like put off dealing with it, like I don't want to do that today. Like, it's not going to be fun. I know I'm going to have to look at some of the bad choices I made, and it's probably going to make me feel bad about myself and like limited, like I won't be able to do what I want to do. And I have these big plans and these big dreams. And I know that if I don't look at this thing, it's just going to get worse. It's going to be more difficult to fix. And like, so rather than stay in this place where I'm really afraid to just look at it, I'm going to do it. And then I did an unblocked money course a few years ago, and I did this. I had this experience where I had to do what it said. I had to go look at all my debt, write everything down, and take stock of it. I was terrified of this process. And I went to do that, and I found that all the debt had been charged off on my credit report. It was gone. My credit score had gone up by 200 points without me doing anything. I found out that what I spent, actually, I still had $100 left over at the end of my spending periods. I was mystified by that. I was like, what? How do I have $100 left over after I cover all my expenses? But I did. And I thought I was going to find out that I was in debt at the end of my spending each month. And I didn't find that out at all. And it was tedious and it was laborious and it took time and it was annoying. And it had components in it that I was afraid of. Like, I had to be like, Jesus, I spent that much on fucking takeout. I cook all the time. How the fuck am I spending that much on takeout? God, right? And I had to be like, what? One of my priorities is family, and I don't spend any money on my family. I don't spend money to see them. I don't spend money on gifts because I'm afraid I don't have it. And yet I spent this much on takeout. Okay. So there were definitely moments of discomfort, frustration with myself. But then there was also light where I was like, wait, I have changed. I don't do what I used to do. And, this thing didn't end up being the end of my life like I thought it was going to be. So masculine, you have to do what I just did and find an experience that you dreaded. And then you ran to it instead of running away from it. And you had a pleasant surprise. And you were able to say, you know what, I actually can do this. It's not going to be easy, but I can do it. Divine Feminine, your turn. Ugh. How did you get this many cards? I am upset. Okay. So you were only supposed to get... Okay. Divine Feminine, what are you constantly thinking about? What are you focused on? What is going over and over and over again in your mind? What is blocking you from being able to get the thing that you want right now because you can't stop thinking about it? Karmic relationship. Fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. So, there are a bunch of people watching this. This is a collective reading. There are different feminine energies that are here present in this reading. There are different karmic relationships that might be focused on. So here are some of the ones that I'm thinking this card means. You might have been focused on a person that is a karmic, and you might be mislabeling them. But you might also be wondering if that's what you're doing. And so you're asking yourself, is this a karmic? Is this not a karmic? Okay. That's one thing. There might be some of you that have a third party energy that has entered the picture because the masculine is taking so fucking long. That's why you're having issues over here on your side now, because in that position of how did this block originate, it's like, well, you invited someone else to pour into your cup. So there could be some of you that are thinking about that person right now instead of your true divine counterpart, which is yourself, by the way, not a person. And there could be those of you that are thinking about your person's karmic relationship that they are in, and you can't stop thinking about how they are in it, and it is triggering you and how you want them to let go and love you instead. And it could be some combination of all those things, but you can't stop thinking about it. What should you think about, or what should you be doing instead of this that will help you? Ascending and the Grim Reaper in reverse. So this says transcending obstacles, learning expansion, new phase, and preparing for union. Okay. This card says the relationship is over. No second chances. Grow and transform your life. So you have to prepare for union and release the fear that this relationship that you desired is over because of this karmic relationship. So either the person that you are focused on is afraid that the relationship is over because they had a karmic relationship. You are afraid the relationship is over because you fear that this person you're focused on is a karmic, or you had a karmic relationship that you fear has halted the potential for this to move forward. You need to let go and love yourself. And the way to do that is to prepare yourself for union and release any fears that there are no second chances. Now, rather than focus on trying to do this, how can we go general and create this experience through our feelings rather than through our head? Because our head isn't going to get us there. Our head is going to bring all the other shit, the baggage, the karmic relationship. It's like stuck in our head. Like we can't do anything to get rid of it. So we don't want to use our head. We want to use our heart. We want to use our intellect to show us a picture that is going to come from a feeling that comes in our heart space, right? So how can we go general to be able to do this? You are getting camera in reverse, which I always associate with Instagram or social media when I see it, and not enough, okay? Camera says reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and make memories. It's also like watching or seeing something, right? And not enough, frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. So how do we go general to allow us to ascend, prepare for union, and release any fear that we are not going to be able to have a second chance or that this relationship is over? We have to go back to the past and remember a time when we were looking at something and telling ourselves it wasn't enough. And then when we actually did receive what it was that we were looking at, we realized that it was actually enough. So another example, and if you think these examples don't have anything to do with relationship, that's exactly the type of example I want you to find, because I don't want you to think about a relationship, because that is what you want. And if you think about what you want, you're going to think about how you don't have it. So I want you to think about something that is not about a relationship, that is not going to trigger feelings of lack in the thing that you're trying to manifest. So my example for this, going general for me, I can kind of go back to what I said about the finances. When I finally faced my fear and looked at my finances, I was afraid that I was going to not see enough, because in the past, when I had looked at them, I would always see that there wasn't enough. But when I ran towards my fear, because I didn't want to be in this state anymore, what happened instead is that I saw that I did have enough. I actually had more than enough. So now if I close my eyes, if I, go into a meditation and I close my eyes and I remember the feeling, and actually because I'm a masculine and feminine inside of myself, I can use this whole experience I just talked about and it will heal both sides of myself. I will remember in 2020 when I did unblocked money. I will even go get my notebook that I wrote unblocked money stuff in and read it. I'm going to go back into my memories of what it felt like to be scared and how long it took me to complete that step. I can see the dates in my mind being like probably almost a month apart from when I started unblocked money to when I was willing to look at my finances. I'm going to read it and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to remember the pleasant feeling of doing that whole thing and realizing that what I was afraid of wasn't true at all. I actually had more than enough money and the potential to keep growing my finances, especially because I had taken the time to run towards the thing I was afraid of and face it. So I just healed myself through communicating this whole experience to you. And the deeper I go into that, the more I feel those feelings, the more I'm likely to see my masculine energy take steps towards me. Wow. Another long reading today. Thank you so much for being here with me. The bottom card on the deck, I'm just going to note, is Coffin. Endings bring new beginnings. And I think that's a lovely way to end this reading. Thanks so much for being here. Excuse me. So sorry to cough at you. I shall return on Friday to YouTube for the Release and Rebuild spread. If you want to see the Tell Me Everything spread, please go to prospress.com. Click on plans, pricing, and packaging underneath booking. Select the $3.33 and become a member today. Or email me if you need help figuring it out. And you can see the Tell Me Everything spreads I did last week and the ones that I will be doing Thursday and on this weekend. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody, and I will see you soon. Farewell.